Yeah. Hello everybody. Today we'll talk about chapter 3. We start by chapter 3, structures program or structure statement. We'll talk about algorithms, pseudocode, control statements, flowcharts, selection statements like if else, if, else, repetition statement like while and for loops. Okay? Algorithms. What is algorithms? Or what are algorithms? You can solve any computing problem by executing a series of actions in a specific order. Algorithms will be solved if we solve several actions in specific order called algorithms. Example, an algorithm is a procedure for solving a problem in terms of the actions to execute and the order in which these actions execute. يعني تحط انت plan, you put plan how to do this or how to do that. Step 1, I will do this. Step 2, I will do something else. Step 3, I will do something else. Step 4, I will do something else. So you make for yourself algorithms or planning steps called algorithms. The action to execute, I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in specific order. This is called algorithms. Example, our daily routine is an algorithms. اوكي بحياتنا الطبيعيه هلا بحياتنا الطبيعيه بتفيق الصبح بنفوت على الحمام بنغسل بنشلح بنغير ثيابنا بنتروق بناكل بنروح على شغلنا او بنروح على جامعتنا عشيه بنرجع على البيت بنحضر تلفزيون وات ايفر عندنا درس بندرسه عندنا كذا كذا هذا كله steps of actions عم تعملها يوميه فهذا algorithms هذا algorithms يعني هو algorithms هو method to solve anything, any problem using actions. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay? هذا هو الالجوريزم. Example اللي اخترع الالجوريزمز هو خوارزمي عراقي او ايراني الاصل. اوكي بسنه من مين
هو؟
سوري؟
مين هو اللي اخترعها؟
الالجوريزم هو عالم عربي عراقي اسمه ابو جعفر محمد ابن
إيراني
موسى الخوارزمي. هلا هون حسب حكي كان ساكن بالعراق وايران ما بعرف اذا عراقي او كذا. اوكي
فارسي هو
فارسي هو عالم ماثماتيكال هو ماثماتيشن. اوكي ومخترع كتب بالالجبرا وبالخوارزمات وبالقصص. بالعربي اسمه خوارزمات. الالجوريزم بالعربي اسمه خوارزمات تماما بالخوارزمي. اوكي باسمه. فهو عالم عربي اول ما اخترعه. أكيد. هلا نجي لوصفة الأكل. Meals descriptions are algorithms? Yes. لما يعطوكم وصفة تعمل بيتزا example description how to make pizza. We have what are the inputs? The inputs of our algorithms here. These ingredients: sugar, vanilla, butter, cacao, flour, baking powder, salt. This is the inputs. What are the steps? Step 1, heat oven to 30-50 Fahrenheit, blah, 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 blah. Step 2, blah, blah, blah. Step 3, blah, 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 to get the pizza. What is the output? To get the pizza, to eat it. So, the making any food, meal or any food, the reception, the description, how to make any meals is algorithm. These are algorithms. You have the steps. We must do that step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 to make pizza or to make any other food. So this is algorithm. Okay? In general.
شو خص البيتزا بالهيدا يا دكتور او ما خاص؟
الالجوريزم ما خصه بالكمبيوتر. الالجوريزم هو كيف تشتغل تعمل شغله بخطوات. هذا الالجوريزم. كيف تاكل كيف مرتبين ورا بعض، مرتبين ورا بعض. ستيب 1 بتعمل هيك، ستيب 2 بتعمل هيك، ستيب 3 do that, ستيب 3 do like that or like this, do something else. So any order steps, action steps called algorithms. Okay. Example, لما تفيق من الصبح daily routine is algorithm. Example 2, meals descriptions are algorithms, and others. Description how to assembly خيمة tent، كيف تعمل خيمة. بيقول لك ستيب 1 علق العمود، ستيب 2 حط الشادر، ستيب 3 رباط الحبل، ستيب 4 غراز الوتد الحديد بالارض، ستيب 5 وات ايفر شو تعمل شدها. فهو ستيبس، اكشن ستيبس هن الجوريزمز. كل شيء وصفات الطبيه، حتى عند الحكيم، حتى الحكيم رحت عند الحكيم بده يفحصك بيسالك كذا سؤال ليعطيك الدواء. Doctor asks you several questions to give you the correct medicine. Okay, so is algorithm. Okay, بيسألك بطنك عم توجعك، راسك عم يوجعك، وات ايفر، اخر شيء بيقول لك معك وجع بطن خذ بنادول او خذ وات ايفر. سو اسئلته هي الجوريزم، بيسألك ليطلع شو يشخص حالتك. تشخص حالتك بيسأل بعض الاسئله وانت تجاوبه، فعم تعطيه معلومات انفورميشن تيحلل لك شو مرضك. هيدا الجوريزم. Okay, everything in life is algorithm. Okay. Algorithms are either described in pseudocode, we'll talk about this, or using graphs, or flowcharts, or any programming language you write. Example C, C++, Java, Python, or others. Okay? We learn all of this now. Pseudocode. What is pseudocode? Pseudocode is an informal English-like language for thinking out algorithms. As we said, to wash the car. Okay, example, to wash any car. Okay, or to add two numbers in computer. Okay, what is the steps? How we will add two numbers in computer. So first step we'll add first number. Second step we'll add or we'll enter second number. Third step we'll sum first number plus second number. Fourth step we get output of the sum of their sum. So we make an algorithms. We write it in English. Step 1, enter first number. Step 2, enter second number. Step 3, add them. Step 4, output them. So these steps, write it in English. It's pseudocode, called pseudocode. It's code, but fake code. It's not C code. It's English code. So pseudocode is an informal English-like language for thinking out algorithms. How to do that or this. Okay? نكتبها بالانجليزي. Write it in English, in Arabic, in French. Okay? البسيدوكود تكتب شو بدك تعمل. بس هذا هو خطة عمل. Planning. What you plan to do that. How to plan to do that. Or how to make that. So step 1 do that. Step 2 do that. Step 3 do another thing. So it's called pseudocode. You write text. تفضل.
دكتور الجوريثم بالعربي شو هي؟
خوارزمي. خوارزميات. بالعربي خوارزمي. In Arabic.
شو معناتها طيب بالضبط يعني بالعربي؟
بالعربي هي تعمل شيء ضمن خطوات متسلسلة. تعمل حيلا شيء ضمن خطوات متسلسلة. هذا هو بالعربي الخوارزمي.
اوكي شكرا دكتور.
اوكي.
يا فياض ما عادش تعمل شير كونتنت عم تبين عنا على الشاشة.
Okay. Okay. You write text that describes what your program should do. هذا هو pseudocode. You then convert the pseudocode to C or any programming language by replacing pseudocode statements with their C equivalents. Okay, we'll see that. Example, addition program pseudocode. The following pseudocode algorithm prompts the user to enter two integers, input them from the user at the keyboard, adds them, then stores and displays their sums. Example here. The pseudocode will be prompt the user to enter the first integer, step 1, step 2, input the first integer, step 3, prompt the user to enter the second integer, step 4, input the second integer, step 5, add first integer and second integer, store them in variable sum, step 6, display the numbers and their sum.
مش هول البرنت اف وسكان اف هولي؟
Sorry?
مش هول نعملهم البرنت اف وسكان اف؟
بالسي بس بسودوكود ما خصه بالسي. بسودوكود هو الجوريزم تكتبه بالانجلش، هو الجوريزم مش لحاله، انت بتكتب. شو يعني لحاله؟
كيف لحاله؟
لحظه شوي، ما في شيء اسمه لحاله. لحظه
لحاله يعني هو كأنه أداة لحاله أنت بتعملها غير
صح. اخر شيء تعمل الكود تبعك سي كود. First you write what you will do. Any question in programming or whatever in your life, you write what you will do. I will do step 1, I will do that, I will do that, I will do that, step 1, step 2, step 3. Like here. Step 1 دخل اول انتجر، ستيب 2 دخل ثاني انتجر، ستيب 3 مثلا اجمعهم وحطهم بالميموري بالسم، اخر ستيب حطهم على الشاشه عرضهم. هذا انجلش كود، بسيدو كود بسيدو كود، اتس نوت سي كود. هذا منه سي كود. هلا بدك تعمل البسيدو كود تبعك بالسي لانجويج له سنتكس، بدك تعمله بالسي بلس بلس له سنتكس ثاني، بدك تعمله بالجافا له سنتكس ثالث، بدك تعمله بالبايثون له سنتكس رابع او any other language, programming language. So the final step is a programming language. See, the first step is to write your problem or to solve your question by pseudocode. Okay? It's easier to you than to convert from pseudocode to C code like this. Prompt the user to enter the first integer, input the first integer. In C, we write printf, enter the first integer. Input the first integer, scanf, between quotation, %d, comma, and x. Now we convert the pseudocode to C code. Then the same for the second integer, y. Printf enters the second integer, scanf, %d, comma, and y. Add first integer and second integer, store their sum, s equal x plus y. So this line, this English line, this pseudocode English line, in C, just write s, the sum equal x plus y. This is command, or any operator, sum, definition, minus, plus, multiplication, division, whatever. At last, finally, printf, sum of %d and %d is %d. So sum of x and y, second %d for y, is %d delta for s. So first %d for x, the value of x will be print here, and %d, the value of y will print here, is %d, the value of s will print here. So this is the output. We display the number and their sum. As you can see, we write pseudocode, then convert it to C language or any other programming language. C++, Java, Python, or other. Okay? You got the idea? You got the idea of what is the pseudocode?
Yes, doctor.
واضحة بدش ليه.
Okay. Now, we'll talk about control structures. Usually, statements in a program execute in the order in which they are written, line by line. This is called sequential execution. When you write 10 lines in C code, the compiler C is again C3 or Visual C++ or Turbo C++ or other will read line by line, okay? Will execute line by line, line 1, then line 2, then line 3. This is called sequential execution, okay? But we have various C statements in C enable you to specify that the next statement to execute may be other than the next one in sequence. يعني في كوماندات في statements من إلا أنت ماشي line 1 line 2 line 3 جيت كتبت شيء بالline 4 ما يروح على line 5 يروح على line 10 مثلا. اوكي في كوماندات حنتعلمها اليوم tell the compiler to jump some lines or to break out the sequential execution. Okay, this is called transfer of control or control statements or control structures, which are okay. First we'll begin by sequential execution like printf, scanf, assign. Selection statements like if-else. Iteration operations or repetition statements or loops like for loop and while loop. Okay, we'll talk about this. Now, the second.
دكتور فيك ترجع سلايد لورا شوي؟
تفضل. شو عندك؟
كان بنقول بس.
لا هيدي حنسجلها رح ابعث لكم اياها. عملت لها ابلود.
دكتور في حدا عندك عم يعمل شير كونتنت يمكن محمد فياض او شيء.
شو يعني شير كونتنت؟
عم بتروح سكرين يعني بيفتح السكرين تاعيته عنا بتبين عنا.
لا طفيها انا طافي شير سكرين. انا شير سكرين بالسكيورتي طافيها.
هلا مش الحال.
هذا هاكر في عنا هاكرين. اوكي. في عنا هاكرين. اوكي. ف البي دي اف فايل انا عملت له ابلود على الوان درايف امبارح. اوكي. Flowchart is a graphical representation of an algorithm. نرسم فينا نطبق الالجوريزم فينا نعمله بالبسودو كود وفينا نعمله بالفلو شارت. اوكي فلو شارت رسم. You draw flow charts using rectangles for action statements. Action statements هن printf, scanf, assign statement like x equal 10 or declaration. All these are action statements. We نرسمها بالريكتانجل. Diamonds for conditions statements. Diamond or rambas or losange بالفرنسي for condition statements. Okay, we'll see that. Or rounded rectangles or oval for beginning of the code and ending the code. Okay, and we have small circles that you connect by arrows called flow lines. Okay, in between these graphs, these objects, we put small circles. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, we'll see that. Example here. In sequential execution, if we want total equal total plus grade, so in flowchart or pseudocode, the first line here will be a rectangle, and right inside it, your C code or pseudocode, add grade to total. Okay, inside the flowchart, we can write pseudocode or C code. تفضل.
على هون لازم نحفظه نحن للامتحان، ما هيك؟
شو تحفظ؟ شو بدك تحفظ؟
يعني هول اللي انت عم تشرحهم كلهم لازم نحفظهم للامتحان، ما هيك؟
ما حتحفظهم لانه حنحل عليهم كثير، حيفوتوا براسك سهلين سهلين سهلين. هلا حنعمل اكزامبلز تفهمون اكثر. اوكي؟
ايه اوكي دكتور، ثانك يو.
اوكي بدك تعمل براكتس، بدك تعمل براكتس
بس بدك تشتغل على
لحفظ،
حالك فيهم.
خصوصا بالبروجرامينج بدك تشتغلوا كثير لتصير هين عليك. So like here, small circle here, it's a step before. Small circle here, next step, next statement. Okay? In between, we have flow lines, arrows, flow lines from up to down. First rectangle, add gray to total, arrows. Second rectangle, add I to counter. Then next step. Okay? So this is flowchart. Inside we write pseudocode equivalent to, we have still 10 minutes. Okay. Equivalent to total equal total plus grade here. Here counter equal counter plus 1. Okay. Add 1 to counter. This is 1. Add 1 to counter. Counter equal counter plus 1. Add grade to total. Total equal total plus grade. Okay. This is sequential execution. We have selection. Okay. Selection, like in C, provides 3 types of selection statements that execute code based on a condition. An expression that evaluates to either true or false. They are the single selection statement if. Today we'll learn if. Performs an action if a condition is true, or skips the action if the condition is false. So here صار عندنا شيء اسمه selection statement, conditional statement. بطل sequential. It's not sequential here. Okay? We skips some codes. Another selection statement, we have double selection statement. If else statement performs an action 1 if a condition is true, or performs a different action 2 if the conditions is false. Okay, we'll see that. So in double selection statement, if else, if this condition is true, do action 1. If it's false, do action 2. Okay, then after action 1 or action 2, go next step. Okay. The multiple selection statement, it's like if else, but nested if else. If else, if else, if else, if else, else. Okay. It's multiple selection. Okay. Performs one of many different actions depending on the truth or false of several conditions. We'll see all this. Example. Also, we have repetition. Okay. We have repetition statement or loops. C provides 2 repetition statements, while loop and for loop statement that repeat an action or a group of actions as long as a condition is true. Okay? If the condition is true, while the condition is true, do the same thing. Do the same thing until the condition becomes false. Exit. Okay? This is called repetition statement or loops. Okay? We'll see that later, not now. Now we'll talk about if statement. If statement. The syntax will be if, parenthesis, write your condition or any expression you want. If this expression or condition is true, do something. Example, code block, do something in between braces and exit. That is not. We can omit braces if we have only one single statement inside any block. If we have 2 lines blocks, okay, we must put braces. But if we have only one single statement, we can remove this braces.
دكتور شو هو الكود بلوك؟
Any block you want. Printf, scanf, anything. Code, any code. Okay? Block code. Okay? If this condition is true, do something. Do something. Code block is something. It can be another program inside if. Okay? A printf, scanf, assignment x equal whatever we want. We'll see that. Example here. Example. Pseudocode. If student's grade is greater than or equal to 60, display passed. It's a pseudocode. In C code, we write if between parentheses grade bigger than or equal to 60, printf passed \n between quotation parentheses semicolon. Okay, so we have here pseudocode. If student's grade is greater than or equal to 60, display passed. This is pseudocode. It's not C code. It's a pseudocode. English code. It's called English code. In C code, we translate or convert this pseudocode to C statements. If between parentheses grade bigger than 60, okay. If it's true, do that. This is code block. Printf passed. Okay, between quotation, between parentheses, semicolon. This is the syntax of C code. You got it? Any question here? Okay, we'll continue. It's a flowchart of if statement like this. Small bubble, small circle, previous step. Okay. We have condition here. We have condition grade bigger than 60. So we have rhombus, losange, diamond, denary. Okay. Grade bigger than 60. If it's true, هذه rhombus.
ديناري القص الديناري يعني.
ديناري بالورق. لوزانج بالفرنسي. رامبس، دايموند.
قص الديناري.
بدك اياه، اوكي؟ هيدا معناتها condition. This rhombus or diamond is for condition. If grade bigger than or 60, true. If it's true, do something. Do something. Here, print passed. If it's false, go next step. This small ball here, small circle here, next step. So if it's false, go to next step. If it's true, go do something, whatever what is, here print passed, then go to next step. Do something and go to next step. If it's false, go to next step immediately. If it's true, do something, then go to the same next step. Okay? This is flowchart of if statement. This is pseudocode of example, this example. This is the C code. So in this slide, we have the syntax of a statement, if condition between braces, between parentheses. If it's true, make any action here, any body of code, any code block between braces. Okay? Any question here?
دكتور هون الجريد بدنا نعرفها انتيجر ما هيك؟
ايه بتعرفها انتجر او فلوت اللي بدك فيه. اذا بتحط فواصل، اذا بتعرف تحط 60 فاصله بالفواصل حطها فلوت، بس عاده انتجر. يس اتس انتجر. اوكي
دكتور حتعطينا مثلا عليهم بالسي بروجرام هيدا السي فري.
هي comparing two numbers. Example, comparing two numbers. Include standard input.h, int main, int number 1, int number 2. This is for declaration two variables. Printf, enter two integers. Scanf, %d, comma, and number 1, comma, and number 2. This is for input the two numbers. First step, declaration the two numbers as integer. Second step, input the two numbers. Third step, make the condition. If number 1 bigger than or equal number 2, if it's number 1 bigger than or equal number 2, do something between braces. Printf %d is greater than or equal to %d. Number 1 is greater than number 2. Okay? Or if another if, we have braces for this. We can remove these braces because we have only one statement. Okay? الوقت هيخلص يا شباب، يمكن نقطش بنكفيها بكره، بنكفيها بعدين. اوكي؟ يبقى في less 1 minute. If number 1 less than number 2, printf %d is less than %d \n. Number 1 is less than number 2. Okay? You got it? You got it here?
سهل.
اوكي كثير منيح.
بده براكتس.
اكيد بدها براكتس. We stop here. We stop here. Okay, we stop here. I will stop the recording.
نرجع نفتح